Hey Andy, how's it going today?
Hey Scott, going good, thank you. Hello everybody. We got a decent amount in here. I'm going to be going solo today. Let me pop out my questions panel, and I am on a laptop, guys, so I'll be coming back into the questions to look at them periodically. But it may, if I don't jump on them right away, just bear with me because like I said, I'll be moving around a little bit. This is the Trade of the Week webinar, and normally Steve does this. I am filling in for Steve today. He's going to take over my Thursday webinar, like Scott mentioned. So let's just dive in. Before we do, let's go over the disclaimer. Just want everyone to know that this is for educational purposes only, okay? I'm going to be talking about some concepts today, some ideas, sharing my thoughts about the market and maybe some stocks, but nothing should be construed as investment advice, okay? That's not what we're here for. But hopefully you're going to learn some cool stuff and or some good stuff to help you become better traders. That is my goal. But once again, if you are seeking investment advice, you might want to find somebody who's licensed in that capacity, like a stockbroker, a registered advisor. But let's move on. I think we covered that enough. All right, you are not alone with trade ideas. Okay, guys, we do know that this is a very powerful software. Most of us here, almost all of us, have been using this since inception. You know, Steve and I were one of the very first users. Actually developed some of the filters and things for them to get them started. So we sometimes take it for granted, you know, and when I think back on when I do one-on-ones and things like that, I realize, you know, it can be a little bit confusing for people, but guys, we have plenty of resources to help you along. And we ask that when you do join, just give it some time. It's like any business that you get into. You need to learn that business. Well, if you, this a powerful component of that business is this software, and if you just take the time, you know, a good week or two, you're gonna have a really good grasp of it. And it's our goal to see that happens for you. And we have this all starts in the traders room with where we have a moderator, Barry, who's a very good trader, and not only that, he knows the software very well. You get to see the software as he navigates the market, and great traders in there, all pitching in, calling out ideas. So it's just it's free. It's free for everyone. You do not have to be a subscriber. So get in there if you haven't been in there yet. And then throughout the week, we have webinars in the same time slot, 5 Eastern. It's usually myself, Jamie, and Steve juggling 2 of us at a time to cover most of them. But on Wednesday, we do throw Dan Merkin and Brad Williams at you. And it's a great place to, how the heck did I do this? Let me go back here. That's a great place to go for Q&A and to find out the new bells and whistles that are coming around the corner. All right, and then Friday support session, don't forget about that. That's a 3-hour, scheduled for a 3-hour. It's been only less than 2 hours over the summer months. People seem to run out of questions and want to move on with their long weekend. But anyway, we stay in there as long as the questions are coming. So great place, guys. If you don't get all your questions answered during the week, come to that Friday support session at 11 Eastern time. All right, TI University. Now, what this is when you sign up, it's something you have to register for. But it's 4 classes. Each of them, the curriculum lasts about an hour in each class, and then we open it up for questions for 30 minutes after that. If you cannot make it, guys, we do have these recorded on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type in trade-ideas, okay? And then just go to our playlist, and you will find TI University in there. All 4 of them are in there. But we do encourage you to come to the live one because you can ask questions in real time as we're going through the topics. All right, this is Steve's favorite slide, man and machine. No man is better than a machine, and no machine is better than a man with a machine. That's from Paul Tudor Jones, and that is very wise. And we adhere to that here at Trade Ideas. Obviously, Trade Ideas is the machine and you are the man, and 2 of you together can be very, very powerful. All right, this is going to be, let me get a drink of Coke here. Our agenda for today. August 20th. We're going to do a market recap, okay? And we have been kind of leading up to this time we're in right now, kind of with warnings and just to be careful, and to, especially if you're an avid day trader, this could be a very, very tough time. And I'll talk more about that when I get into the market recap. And then we're going to have the Holly recap. Not much to talk about today. It's just the market in general was just very difficult for any strategies. And so we'll look at them briefly, but you know, when I see a market like this, it's no direction, highs and lows and back to lows. Anyway, so we'll talk about that in a minute. TOW is snap. There's no trigger in that yet. We will discuss it, and the things that Steve and I both collaborated on that one. You guys know I've been kind of eyeballing that one, in and out of it over the last few weeks. But anyway, we'll talk about that. And then this is kind of revisited, but for most of you, you probably never heard it. It's what I call an SMA tracker, okay? It's a way for you to track stocks using a top list. And it's real easy to use to find stocks that are, you know, maybe butting up against their 10-period moving average, or 8-period, and 20-period and 50-period. So anyway, we'll take a look at that. I think you'll like it, and I will definitely share it. Then this is going to be really cool, okay? Because I'm going to talk about fading all-time highs. And well, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to save that for the topic. I'm not gonna tease it right now. All right, so let me back out of this and let's go to the SPYs. All right, let me putting up, speaking of fading all-time highs. All right, guys, this is what we're looking at, and it is just a mess. We're right in the middle of key moving averages. Look at there, squeezed right in between our 10-period and our 20-period. Still below our 50-period, above our 200-period, and really just kind of in the middle of a very, very sloppy range. I can zoom out here a little bit and you can see what I'm talking about. Here was that critical pivot level that we, you know, kind of need to stay above. Let me draw a little markup here, horizontal line, show you. All right, now we'll zoom back in and just kind of take a look. You know, today, you know, we got up to above that, but boy, rolled back over, closed near lows, kind of below that kind of critical pivot level. This is so typical, you know. I mean, over the last several summers, this time of year has always been hard, and we've been kind of in a nice grinding higher market. So now we're in a very sloppy no man's land market, guys, going into the toughest trading of the year. And take it for somebody who's day traded for 17 years. I no longer do that. I'm more of the swing trader now. But this can be a very dangerous time to trade. And all you had to do is look at some of the sloppy action we had today to realize what I'm talking about, to understand what I'm talking about. So I could sit here and paint different scenarios of where we need to do, what we need to get, but really we're kind of just in sloppy no man's land. Okay, honestly, I think you'd probably have to look at this level and this level down here before, you know, I would get excited about anything. And it's very likely we could have some really sloppy action inside this range for the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not saying that's not my prediction, but let's face it, earnings season is kind of winding down. We got the most lackluster trading of the year. It's going to be happening now. And don't even think it's only to Labor Day, because everybody gets excited the day after Labor Day thinking, oh boy, here we go. But usually it's the week after that. So we could have another 3 weeks of this. So be careful, guys. You know, it's we're back above the fast line. I guess we have that going for us. We're still above the 200, but boy, it's very sloppy. A lot of candles in different directions here, and just be careful. You know, I think these two lines are kind of the area you need to keep an eye on. You know, if we do break either way, maybe things could change. But as long as we're inside this kind of, you know, highs and lows basically over the last 2 weeks is just going to be a mess, in my opinion. All right, so that's enough of the market recap. We'll take a look around real quick at the Qs to see if there's anything different. And pretty much the same thing there. A little bit stronger there, you know, not far from, you know, getting back above its moving averages. Try to do that. But, you know, once again, I think you probably need to, you know, get above this level. I'm not going to mark it up. You guys can see what I'm talking about with my crosshairs there. And the Dow, very similar to the SPYs, actually showing a little bit weakness. And I'm going to pull up the IWM, boy, but that thing's just really been ugly lately, and it's almost below, barely held above its fast line today, its 10-period moving average, but it's really been sick lately. You can't get anything going. All right, now that's enough. So as far as market recap go, we're in a very sloppy range and going into the most dangerous time of year, so just be careful. All right, let's talk a little bit. You know, like I said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Holly today. I mean, once again, I always like to show the SPYs. And, you know, keep in mind, she has these base strategies, and she's going to fire off trades. But when you have a market like this that gaps down, heads lower, some reason right here on no volume at all, decides to kind of rip the highs, fill the gap. You know, there's your gap fill right there. And basically just kind of roll back over, slop sideways. It just an ugly day. You know, had this gap down and, you know, continued to grind down lower, that would have been a much easier for the algos. And but boy, when you have this action where you slam down, go back to highs, just not a whole lot to work with. We'll take a look real quick here at Holly to see what we're looking at. These are all the strategies and all the trades. Okay, for the most part, let's sort by risk off, and you know, not all great there. They're risk on. Full risk, not too bad. I mean, except for that one down there, it was ugly. But when you're going full risk on, you got to count it all, and that's what you're looking at. I'm not going to break down those individual trades in a market like this, guys. You know, I don't care what strategy you're using. There's time where you just back away. You know, if you want to trade small size, that's fine, but you can't come into a market like this and what we're looking at right here and you know, say I am going to just, you know, jump in all Holly's trades and see how it goes. Every system, every strategy, algorithms are subject to the market in some, you know, in some way, in big time. And so just keep that in the back of your mind, okay? There's some markets where just hardly anything's going to work. And not that Holly, you know, didn't get killed. Here's your total numbers over here. You know, I have it with based on a $200 stop loss, which is kind of high probably for a market like this. But if you look over here, with just if you bought 100 shares of or shorted 100 shares of any of her calls, these are the totals you'd have came down with. So didn't get destroyed today by no means. And this is a market that, you know, that could destroy some people, but but nothing real great either. So I am going to move on. Not really going to break down a lot of the trades here. Let me fix. All right, let me keep an eye on the clock here just to make sure. All right. And let me pull up just to see where I'm at. Okay, trade of the W. Trade of the week. I'm glad I looked at that because usually when I fill in for Steve, I forget to go over it. All right, let's take a look at what we're looking at. Snap here. And I'll zoom in here a little bit. So Steve hit me up the other day. He knows I've been kind of playing this on pullbacks, and he hit me up after this day right here. This is the day we were looking at. See if I can get that day. I don't know how Steve does that. It's kind of tricky. Almost got it. I'm gonna leave it right there. Just pretend you don't see that little bar right there. This is the tail we were looking at on Friday. And I think he mentioned how it went down here and double dipped this low right here and bounced. Buyers came in, bounced right back up. And then yesterday it attempted to do a bar reversal, but boy, just like a lot of things in this market, no volume, nothing really going on, not a lot happened. Kind of closed right there, but still a third little tail in a row. Thinking, boy, we may build off this. Now let's zoom to today, and boy, I thought we were going to get it going, and we ran right into that little fast line there, and whoop, right back down. So there's no trigger. I think the trigger is set right here above the 1650. So no harm, no foul. This is one where, you know, you probably just in this market, you know, you almost got to wait for that. A lot of times what I like to do is we'll get a head start and maybe buy half, and then if it breaks through that level, buy another half. But boy, once again, we're at the mercy, I think, of a lot of the market and the volume right now. You know, this is relative volume, doing half its normal volume. So just not a lot going on, but no trigger. And guys, we do this intentionally, okay? In this market, we just don't want to throw out these calls and that are tight. Like we could have easily called it right through this high yesterday, you know, Friday. And what would have happened? It had triggered yesterday, and then we got excited today, and then right back down. Still might work, but you know, we're a little bit more cautious. Let's make sure if we're going to get a move, let's see it get back above the fast line here and take out, and not just get, you know, trapped in by a little bit of, you know, 2 cent, 3 cent move above that high and come right back in. So no trigger yet in it. I'm still I scalp some every day, but I keep me a little piece of it because I did like the earnings. This is the earnings day right here. Had a nice gap up, 3 days of follow through, but it's having a hard time. Here's what I wanted it to do, much like Pens is doing. You know, that's what you want to see, and snap, but we're not seeing it yet. So, you know, it's that time of year, so we'll see what happens. But no trigger. This trade technically is still live till the end of the week. So if we do go up here and take out this high right here of, help me out here, 1650. I believe that probably the call was 1651. I'd have to go back and read it, but that sounds about right. Then, hey, enter at your own risk. I mean, but keep the market in the back of your mind, okay? I think if it comes back down again and takes out this low, you're going to be taking out the 50. There's a real good chance we may get a. You can see I have an alert down here set in case we ever do get that gap fill. There's a good chance if it does take out these lows over here and breaks that 50, it may wander on down and tag that real quick. So always smart when you find these little areas, guys, when you're going and looking at charts. Anytime you see these gap areas down here, especially when you're seeing action like this, you're making lower highs, can't get through the 50, go ahead and throw something down there. It's so smart. I mean, it's what, you know, it can be just a gift. What'll happen a lot of times, it'll trade down on no volume, have a nice, you know, hard move, fill the gap, boom, and reverse right at it. So anytime you see that, anytime I see them, I'm always putting alerts in there. All right, but that is the trade of the week. We have no alert, no trigger yet. All right, let me pull her back up and see. Okay, SMA tracker. I don't know if any of you guys have seen this in the past. Mike would tell me if he has. I don't see Waleed in here today. Something must be wrong with Waleed, SMA tracker. All right. So here we go. So what are we looking at? Okay. I always tell people in top list that columns can be so powerful. A lot of people think they always have to have alerts and be alerted on something in real time, when you can use top list to scan and use very little filters at all and just use your columns. So let me show you what I've done here. Let's go to configure and look at the configuration. It's very simple. All right, stock needs to be above $5 a share. Average daily volume needs to be above 500,000. I'm looking for thicker stocks. This is probably something I would use for swing trading. And this is just obviously a hack that keeps out any ETFs. In other words, it's a way for us to tell the algorithm, only show me stuff that report earnings. But that's it. That's all the filters we're using. You don't, in top list, you don't have to use a lot of filters. And if I go to, symbol list, it's just all symbols, and I'm just kind of using that 500,000 shares. So this is going to scan pretty much everything in all 4 major exchanges, okay, that trade an average of 500,000 shares over the last 10 days. So now these are the columns I've added. This is what I was looking for when I built this. I actually built this for a professional, a money manager. So what I could do is I could put his portfolio in here. So I would do a symbol list, and I built his portfolio in here, and it's a real easy way for him just to look real quickly at his portfolio and see which stocks are maybe trading, the strongest. Maybe if I sorted by 200-day, and he's in EVER, he's happy because he can see it's 155% above the 200-day. 61% above the 50-day, 38% above the 20. It's above all major averages there. So you can find the strong ones in here for sure. All right. But what I like to use it for is finding stocks that may be butting up against these major averages. And the way I would do that, let's sort by 8-period moving average, and we're hoping soon we're going to get a 10-day moving average in here. But they're usually pretty close, so I can kind of eyeball, and plus I see I have a 10 period on my chart, so I can see how close it is to the 10-period moving average. But what I would do is I would sort by 8-day, and then I would just scroll down and find the ones maybe 1% or lower, but not below the 8-period moving average. Take a look at this KEYS. Okay, it's kind of pinched right now, but here's a stock that's kind of holding up relatively well. Didn't do all that bad today, but above its moving, its 10-period moving average there. Let's see what else we can find here. It looks like some sort of, forget that one. How does that one trade? Well, I guess it does. I don't know. All right, there's a great one. Look at this OFC right here, okay? Just by looking at this, I see now this thing tried to sell off today and bounced right off its 10-period moving average. I wonder if that came through. I'll take that. Nah, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna jump around on you guys. But look at there. If I'm just sitting in tonight, now all these, this is after the close, so this is great for scanning. You come home at night and you're sitting here and you're like, whoa, let's look at this OFC here. The market is not holding up, but boy, this thing is holding up well. Maybe you want to come in here. If it takes out that 1-month high right there, go ahead and up. Put you a little price alert. Okay, because if it takes out that, it's a good chance, man, it may take out all this, and then you're looking at maybe, boy, some really clean blue skies above. AZN, there you go again. Here's one hugging up against its fast line. So I think you guys get what I'm talking about here. And what I like the ones are really is when you see I can look through here and I know that these right here are near their fast line, and I can see they're above their 50-20, they're above their 50, and they're above their 90. See, when you see green like that all across the board, you're gonna know, you're gonna start to realize real quickly that this is a strong looking chart. It's above all its major averages in a kind of a stepping stone pattern. In other words, you got kind of a fanning action here because you can see the increments in which it's kind of dispersed here. So very powerful. take a look at this well. This looks like one that's probably setting up as well. There you go. Maybe I would put one in here tomorrow if you got to drive down at the open on that fast line. Could be interesting. So I think you guys know what I'm kind of looking at here. And maybe you want to check out ones. Maybe you're not interested in the 8 period. Maybe you're somebody that likes the 20 period. Well, you can do the same thing with the 20 period. You just click on it, come down here, right above 0, find the ones that are down around close to their 20 period. Getting some of the same ones. How about target here? Let's take a look at target. That's higher than I thought. Never mind. I need to get these ones lower. And don't be afraid sometimes to go look at the ones that may be just below them as well. You know, sometimes they can be some ones that are moving up like this and just closed, you know, right just barely below its 20 period there. Nice day today. That's some nice relative strength. Not sure what happened. Earnings, it's been a while since earnings, but anyway. All right, let's say you're interested in bigger pullbacks. You want to find things that are pulling back to the 50. You could just do the same thing for the 50. Scroll down, and I think I'm missing some stuff. I'm going to try something here. And I'm not. That would. But you guys can play around with this in the filters and only look for ones that are maybe above, you know, above their 20 instead of having all this red, because I think with the count, I may be getting missing some ones. But let's take a look at this MRNA. I think I remember seeing this one fly around today. Yep. Nice day today, up. Sloppy action, but you know, up on the day and closed right above its right on its 50-day moving average. So one you may want to mark up if it takes out that high. This is the kind of homework you can do with just using these scans and after hours. This is going to be really nice. I think if it takes out that yesterday high, because that should see some decent follow through. All right, so this is called, SMA tracker, and I will share it with you guys. And once again, you can go in and do things with the filters, make it your own. I like to tell people that all the time, okay? I like to look for stocks that trade at least, 500,000 shares a day. Sean's the same way. Some of you might not care to trade stocks that do 200,000 shares a day. That's fine. It's just a matter of preference. All right, so let me go ahead and share this. Make sure I don't have any questions here. Okay, Marguerite says, is the 10-day May the green? Yes, the green one, I'm sorry, the green one line is the 10-period moving average. Marguerite. All right, so hang on, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share this with people in the chat who have our software. They have the ability to take this and make it their own and use it the way they want to. So let me find the chat window here. And we'll call this SMA tracker. And if you look in your chat, I'm posting it right now. There you go. Are you able to share Master Blaster? Yes, I can. I sure will. Let me just grab it from in here. That's a good one. Crossan is asking me to share Master Blaster. It's a multi-strategy, looking for stocks that are different price ranges, kind of broken down into multi-strategies. And I will share that with you and anybody else who wants it. Master Blaster on Spotter Town. Oh, you're welcome, Mike. Gustavo asks, do we have a scanner for options? Let me show you what you can do here. Okay, we can just pull up a alert window anytime that you are looking for something, just type it into search in the window configuration, and that shows you everything we have on options. It doesn't get we don't nothing complex here, you know, no kind of iron blood condors and butterflies and all that. It's just pretty basic stuff, which for me can tell me a lot. I love this option volume today percentage. A lot of times you can find stocks in there that may not be moving, but you look on there and they're doing some really good option. Like, what's going on here? You know, so that's my favorite one. But we don't do a lot of fancy option stuff. Gustavo would just we kind of keep it basic. You can get the put volume today, call volume today, option volume. But I like the percentage gain, so I can see the ones that are doing 100, 200% of normal. So we do. That's about what we have there. All right. I'm ashamed, not ashamed. I'm saddened that Waleed's not here. I think he would really dig this next segment. All right, let me find it here. I've seen enough. I built this today. I've seen enough. Let's take a look at anything that may have come here through here today. We can go to history, and I'm going to click on today to see the stocks that came through here today, and then we're going to click on them. NFE. Let me just go ahead and bring this, expand this out, bring this down a little bit. All right. Look at that chart, okay? All-time highs, and look at this movement over the last 20 days or even the last week, consecutive bars. Guys, trust me, from a and Robert, what does Master Blaster, what do you say there, FID? What do you, I'm not sure what you're asking there. Did I put the link in there? Oh, what does it do? Yeah, it just looks for momentum. It's very much like Extreme Volume High-Low Pro. It's looking for stocks doing hitting highs, doing, you know, breaking out of ranges and doing it on decent volume. I just have that one broken down into not as much volume as I need in my extreme volume, and I have it segmented in price ranges and float. All right, so guys, trust me as a trader and as a day trader only, and pounding out a living for 17, 18 years. It's so tempting. I know when you see things like this, they get way overextended and you try to short it. I've seen so many people, because logic tells you, man, it cannot keep going up, just like stocks you think cannot keep going down. Well, they can. They can keep going up, and they can keep going up, and they keep going up. And the problem is you try to day trade something like this, and you just keep getting run over and run over. Maybe you're only taking small losers, but you're just not getting anywhere. And what's going to happen is you're going to sit here and get beat up because, you know, you throw up, you know, you bounce a ball off the sidewalk and it goes way high in the air, and you know it's going to come down. Well, you think the same thing's going to happen to the stock, but the problem is you don't know when it's going to come down. Eventually it will. And you know what's going to happen? It's going to be a gap below, and you're not going to want to chase it because you had it up here, and now you're mad because you missed the move. Now, first of all, I am not condoning shorting high, all-time highs, but you've heard the old saying, you know, buy low and sell high. So I can see the temptation to want to short all-time highs and stocks that are overextended. Logic tells you it's going to pull back at some point, and I want to be in it when it does because it could pay. And you're right. The problem is, if you're trying to day trade it, you're gonna get run over so much that when it does break, it's not going to break enough during a day trading time frame for you to make any money. I used to try this, and trust me, every trader has. Okay, it's just too tempting. It's like the ones that are way oversold. You think they're going to bounce, and you look at all that open space that it can run if it does, and they just never do. So what I wanted to build a scanner, an alert, and I wanted to back test this strategy. Okay, to see when it worked. So let's take a look at what we have here. Okay. Configure. Go in the config window here. All we're using is a new high, but let's check out the filters. All right, we're looking for stocks between the price of $5 and $500. Average daily volume needs to do at least 300,000 shares a day. That's okay with me because this is one, if they've had this kind of movement over the last, several days, they're going to be doing more. I know that they're going to be doing a lot more volume than that, so I'm okay with that. Position in lifetime range. Look at here, 100%. So that means it has to be at an all-time high. I had just ignore this. Obviously, if it's a position in lifetime range, it's at all-time highs. It's obviously over. This is the first filter I used before I switched to switch to the lifetime range. So just kind of ignore that. Excuse me, just 1 minute. Got to get another drink here. All right, here's the key. Another key filter. Change in 20 days. Has to be up at 20% at least over the last 20 days. Okay, so I'm looking for stocks that had a nice move, and look here, 4 consecutive days in a row. They have to be up at least 4 consecutive days before it will work. So these things are going to be overextended. Okay, the problem is can you short these? All right, so here's what I'm going to do. We're going to back test this filter. And oh yeah, well, I'll show you too. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to back test this strategy. And start time is going to be at 8:46. I don't want to jump in the first 15 minutes because I know when the squeeze is on, that first 15 minutes, they can really drive it and you're going to get run over. So I want at least 15 minutes to go by before I short this, okay? Timed exit. We're going to test it for a day trade. A day trade, you're looking for a day trade, maybe you're going to hold it 60 minutes. Let's go 60 minutes. Okay, we're gonna go to risk management. Okay, if you're day trading this, you're probably gonna want to use a 1% stop. Okay, most of you, I know how traders are. You're thinking, I got it this time. If it goes above this level, I'm getting out. So in other words, I know in most people, it's gonna be a lot tighter because they're wrong, and then they're gonna keep trying it. I know, because I've done this before I, finally woke up. All right, so advanced, we're going to back test it the full 64 days, okay? So we have some nice sample size, and we're going to simulate sell. Oh, this is actually better than I thought. Not bad, okay? This is a profit factor of 196, a 56% winning percentage, average winners 83, average losers 57. You kind of made money on this strategy, okay? Even though I know how it works, most people will not give this a 1% move against them. They'll give them, they make it a lot tighter because they're afraid of the continuation is going to keep going. All right, so let's take it a step further and let's do this let's back test it again. I'll just minimize this. Let's back test it again, and this time we are going to do it timed exit. We're going to do it an all-day hold. Now remember, we're shorting the first high after the 15 minutes. Okay, as long as it's had 4 candles in a row, in other words, it meets all my filters, you're shorting the first high after the 15 minutes. So let's simulate sell again. Not bad, even a little better. These things, have gotten a little bit better. I can promise you, if you're doing this probably at, it should be more trades than that. I'm not sure why it's only 94 trades. I'm going to take a look at that. That was weird. It's not what I got today. But anyway, we'll take a look at that in just a minute. Not bad at all. So this is a strategy that's actually, working. It's profitable. Even though the winning percentage is 50%, you got a nice, risk reward here. Your average winner is $1.62, and your average loser is 65 cents. Now, let's back test this on a multi-day hold. Obviously, we're going to do a at the market open tomorrow plus 3 days. Now, since we're doing a swing trading now, we can loosen our parameters, okay? We don't need to use a 1% stop. That would be too tight in a swing trade, okay? We're going to jack this up to 3%, okay? And make sure we got it on 64 days, no trailing stop or anything. And let's hit simulate sell. And see what we get. The interval for it depends on, Robert, what we're looking at. Are you talking about the charts? This is a daily chart. And that's the daily chart. Now look at this. This is for a swing trade, holding it 3 days, getting out at the open on the 3rd day. Okay, look at the difference here. Okay, now you got an average winner of 568. Your average loser is 163. That is almost that's like 3 to 1. That's incredible. Okay, so even though its winning percentage is only 51%, look at this profit factor, 3.76. I would like to see more trades in here, but that's okay because it's unusual for a stock to be hitting all-time highs, have 4 candles in a row, be up 20% over the last 20 days. You're looking for extended stuff, to fade. Now, numbers don't lie, guys. I'm not telling you to go out there and play the fading game, start trying to fade all-time highs. It's a dangerous game. But what I'm saying is what I've learned that for me, okay, if you are going to play this game, do it with small size and look for a swing trade. I know it's scary, but if you use only small size, like this right here is only investing $5,000, okay, per trade. So, if you're looking at a, well, you can figure it out. You can just see it's not, a lot of cases it's only going to be 1 to 200 shares. Or if it's a higher price, maybe only 50 shares. So you're going in with small size. So you can afford, you're going to be sitting there and having to watch every tick because you're jumping in with 1,000 shares and trying to time that move on an intraday level. You're jumping in and out because you can't seem to get it right. And I've seen traders do this over and over, trying to short that momentum. Now, the buying power doesn't require that much because remember, you're only going to be taking probably 1-2 trades a day. Say, 76 trades. You're not going to be taking that many, so it's not going to eat up a lot of your equity. But what I really wanted to show here, guys, is there is a method, in which you can fade all-time highs, and but I've seen too many people do it on like I said, a day trading time frame, and they try to go in with size, and they keep just getting jerked around, and next thing you know, you're doubling down. It's a foolish game. If you want to play it, go in with tiny size. Don't look at it. Forget about it. Put your stop in and forget about it. Okay. If you buy 100 shares of something and you're risking 3%, maybe you might lose $300, but you may make $1,200, $1,500 on the downside. Go in with 50 shares. You control your size. Steve always says there's only two things a trader can control: his size and his attitude. So size can be very important. So anyway, let's take a look at something else, because this is where people really mess up. Because here's what we're going to do now. We're going to flip this. Okay? We're going to flip this and see if we can get it to work on the down for buying stocks to bounce up. All right. So we'll keep that to compare the two. So what we'll do is we'll just take this right here. We'll duplicate it. And I can go into configure. And all I'm going to do is flip. Change it to a new low, and all the filters are flipped. We'll click OK here. And let's take a look and make sure everything flipped. I'm sure it did. All right, we do have a new low. The filters should be pretty much the same, except position and lifetime range. Instead of a minimum being 100, now a maximum is 0. They have to be on all-time lows. Change in 20 days, have to have sold off more than 20%. Consecutive days, 4 down days in a row. These things have been clobbered, and I know what people think. They want to buy these. It's so tempting. You look at a chart and you see how high it was 6 months ago, and you're like, gosh, I can get it down here. This has to be a good buy. Let's see if it works. We're going to back test this now. Let's take a look at one of these charts just to make sure we got the right stuff. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty ugly. A lot of people might want to buy that. All right, so let's back test this. We'll do it the same way we did the last one. We got to make a few changes here. Timed exit. Let's first try it for a 60-minute hold. This may be even a better lesson than the last one I just showed you, because it may keep you from trying to bottom fish and buy junk. All right. Risk management. Let's change this back to 1% since it's a day trade. Advanced 64 days. That's all right. Now we're buying. Simulate buy. Uh-oh. That's ugly. That is a losing strategy. Even after it's been beaten up for that long, you still can't buy it. Let's do it again. Let's try it on a all-day hold. Keep the 1% in there. Simulate buy. Huh? Winning percentage is not that good, but maybe. Nope. Still not that good. 122 trades and pretty much a flat strategy. Okay, nowhere. Let's try it on a swing trade. Risk management, and we will change this to a 3% since we are going to a swing trade. Timed exit, we'll do tomorrow plus 3 days at the open. And let's simulate buy and see if you can buy these things and hold on to them for a few days and make the money like you did on the like we did on the long side. I mean short side. See? Fear is stronger than greed. Losing strategy. Profit factor of 0.7, just ugly. 30% winning percentage. That's every stock over the last 64 days that met those filters. And so I'm hoping if you don't come away from here with anything, is try to avoid just bottom fishing and buying these strategies. I showed you 3 different time frame holds right there, and you're buying stuff that's just been beaten up. You think you'd get a bounce in a majority of it, but no, they just keep going lower. you know, fear is stronger than greed, I guess. So anyway, that's what I would take away from this. Oh, thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. So yeah, because trust me, it's so tempting to, you see those stocks, you look at them and you say, wow, this thing was trading, $75 6 months ago. It's down here at 28 now. It's got to be a good buy. Yeah, it's not. They can just keep going lower. They can go out. They can go belly up. So be careful, especially when it comes to bottom fishing, buying lows. If you are going to play a fading strategy to the long side, I mean to the short side on things that are gotten out, out of control. Okay, at some point you're right. They are going to pull back, but do it with tiny size. Do it with tiny size so you don't even have to watch it. You can put a stop in and take it off your, take it away from your mind, because if you sit there and watch the level 2 and the price action, you're going to keep getting out. So tiny size if you are going to play a fading strategy. And like I said, I'm not trying to tell anybody this is what I do, this is great. No, I don't do this. I have done it, but this is not, my primary thing by no means. But numbers don't lie, and you saw the numbers. If you go in, on things that are extremely overbought, and you go with tiny size, you can. Did I share this yet? Let me see. I don't think I have. Have I? Let me share it real quick. Not the flip one. We don't want to see that one. We don't want to share that one. All right. Let me put it back on real time. And save and share to cloud. Thank you. I see a lot of people thanking me, and you are welcome, and I appreciate your kind words. And I'm going to drop this in there. I've seen enough. There you have it. And with that, I'll hang around for any questions that you might have. Maybe somebody wants me to take a look at a chart. We got a couple of minutes here. I can do that real quick. Marguerite, the formula for profit factor is your total profits divided by your total losses. Now, there's one caveat in our profit factor. We do not factor in commissions. Okay, a true profit factor factors in commissions. Okay, so when you're looking at our profit factor, you probably want to fudge it a little bit down a little bit. Maybe just kind of figure in your commissions, and maybe I don't. You could, I just use my eyeball. If I'm looking for a good strategy, I want it to be above 2. Okay, that's the one I'll use. If it's above 2, I know with the commissions, it's still going to be probably about 1.8 or something like that. So, but just keep that in the back of your mind. Would you give a brief review of how to paste in the code that you share? Sure, very easy. You just right-click in the window you want to share. Okay. You go to find the little cloud. You go to Save or Share to Cloud. Okay. If you're just saving it to your cloud, just click on Save. But if you're saving and sharing it, you have to Save and Share. And then you have to hit Copy All. Okay. And then I'll paste it in there again to show you that it works. You just paste it in an email or text or wherever you want to. No, maybe not a text, but you know what I mean. All right, see. Did you get that, Robert? I guess I'm hoping you got it. I'm see if I can't see. Okay, BHC Hal asked about to the long side. I'm going to be flat out honest with you, Hal. It doesn't look good. It was encouraging yesterday. You had a nice little move up here, but this is a very weak chart. You can see how long it's been trading. It tried several times to get back above the 10-period moving average. now you have your moving averages fanning out, and you have this fast line, which tried to get above it again, and it slammed it back down, okay? I'm not seeing anything constructive here, to the, technically. The longer term doesn't look bad. You do have a nice pivot level right here that may defend, but I'll say this, if it does break this level right here, there's a good chance, real good chance, if it breaks that level, it's going to go down to this level here. So, because that is a kind of a pivot level. If you go back, see these areas where it bounced in the past, there. But it really needs to hold that low right there. Okay, Robert says, what I meant was how to take that code and put it, okay, so you want to load the code, not to share it, okay. Not to paste the code. Okay, so what you do is click on the code like this, just click on it, and that's probably what you brought up there, Robert. All right, and then you just copy the URL. You're welcome, Hal. Just copy the URL, then go to File in your toolbar, Load from Cloud. The code will already be in there. It copies it from your clipboard, okay? All you have to do is click Load, and there you have it. I just pulled up another. I've seen enough. You're welcome, Robert. You are very welcome. Now remember, Robert, all you're doing at that point is you're just loading it from the cloud. You still will have to go through, if you want to save it, go and do save, okay? And with that, we are done. I'm gonna bring in Scotty, and he's gonna offer you guys a discount, and not only that, I think he's gonna offer you a nice discount. So hang on, will you? All right, Scott.
Hey, thank you. A couple items on the way out of the webinar.
Mm-hmm.
We release podcasts pretty much weekly, so as we finish up the summer, we should be back on schedule. So get ready to get the next episodes by subscribing to Trade Ideas Podcast. Just search for Trade Ideas Podcast in your favorite app, hit subscribe, and then you'll be ready to check out the archives and get the next episode. We've got some great new ebooks. If you don't have a copy yet, get them. They're free to you. Just go to trade-ideas.com/setup to get taken to the page where you can enter your email address and get the downloads. Andy contributed some chapters, so each book has 2 chapters, and they're organized in each book. Well, each book has a topic, and there's 2 chapters in each book about that subject, so check them out. They've been really popular. We've got a code that's good for the rest of August, Summer Heat, all caps, saves 15% off the first month or year of any Trade Ideas subscription or Brokerage Plus license. So keep that in mind. You can also use that to upgrade your account and save on that upgrade. Any questions, email info@trade-ideas.com. You can follow Steve Gomez, who normally hosts today's webinar, at Today Trader. We also have @Trade Ideas, facebook.com/Trade Ideas Pro is our Facebook page to like. And again, any questions, go to email info@trade-ideas.com. We're going to have this recording up later on tonight or tomorrow, so stay tuned for an email update with that link to the replay. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you again this week, I'm sure. Bye-bye.